Good evening, Bhante and all Kalpamita Sukimoto. I'm Aliana. Welcome to Sutta Day 8, Bhante Chandima. Tonight we are going to discuss about the 7th class of Pattakamma Sutta with topic accomplishment in generosity. The Zoom class is always open, so for those who are interested to join, please contact Ti-Ratana Facebook Messenger or can directly register via QR code that has been stated on our latest Sutta discussion flyer. We also have uploaded the previous 87 Sutta discussion classes on Ti-Ratana Vihara Perdana Facebook page and YouTube channel. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gambodawila Chandima, is the Senior Advisor to Pattakamma, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginners as well as expert students in learning Dharma in Pali class, Sutta discussion class, and Dharma talk and other variety ways. You can check on Patisota with the link www.patisota.blogspot.com. In 2015, Bhante Dr. Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist Studies from a university in Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. And from 2012 to 2016, Bhante served as a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016 was a research fellow at the Center in a Region and Society of University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome Bhante Dr. Chandima once again, and thank you very much, Bhante, for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everybody. Aliana, I just want to make sure I can see that it's linked to Facebook. Is it live on Facebook now? On any of your pages?
Yes, Bhante is live on Facebook now, but it's going to the profile, not on the page.
Profile. Okay. Profile means all right. It's right. I'm trying to see where's the place. Oh, okay, I got it here. Yes. Second. Okay. Once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ti-Ratana Sutta discussion of Ti-Ratana Vihara clan. It was a very busy day. I did my one of the retreats over here. So yeah, anyways, so we are going to conduct Ti-Ratana Sutta discussion day 88. This is going to be the generosity, cāga, C long A G A, cāga. Before we continue, let's pay respect 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Today we have Liana. Do we have Lim over here today? No, I think Aaron is taking over his activities over here. Yeah, Margaret, Sadhuris, Nine Cheng, Kim Neo, Kelvin, Melinda, Tisilium, Wong Chi, Barbara, Wong, AW, SF Lim, Corina. I think, is it Aili Tan? Should be. You should be, I think you should be new to our discussion, isn't it? Welcome. Maya, Chan, Jacqueline, Elvin, Jechko, Pemahi, they are actually members who've been actually participating at least couple weeks. So Pattakamma Sutta. We have been discussing almost two accomplishments. The first one we discussed was uh, Saddha. Saddha means confidence about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, or I would say trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And it can also mean about trust between two people. I would say trust between relationships, two people in a relationship, trust between even the Sangha members and devotees as well. So it can mean actually both contexts. Confidence about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, at the same time, trust between two people in a secular connection. And then we discuss about Sila. Sila does not just mean a bunch of precepts. Sila means discipline. From a wider, broader perspective of Sila, Sila means that you are intentionally avoiding certain non-virtuous things. And our analogy about intentional avoidance is always a 3 months old infant who may not actually, who definitely avoids killing, stealing, sexual misbehaving, no idea what it is all about, and then no lying and no sura marriage. That means 3 months in old infant does not technically break any precept, but it's not the sila. Sila means that somebody is going to avoid any wrong, any wrong side of any precepts with intentions that this is not good for me, this is not good for others. Today, we are coming down to cāga, Saddha, Sila, cāga. Cāga. Let's identify this term before we jump on to the Pattakamma Sutta's context. Cāga. Maybe I'm going to. Okay, this is the part. Cāga. It shouldn't be two A's. It should be long A, one long A, C, one long A, G, A, cāga. Now, cāga, what does cāga mean? Now, we have a sort of, confusion between this Pali term, dana, and cāga. These two terms have been synonymously used at certain places, but they do mean two things. What does dana mean? What does cāga mean? I would give you an example, kind of a help. Help is dana is what you call. I think I'm going to explain that. Dana means giving, and cāga means giving up. Dana means giving, cāga means giving up. We had a very good discussion about these two terms in a discussion which I did a few weeks ago in Malaysia with Uncle Vijay, actually, and he was interviewing me about dana and cāga, actually, saying that in Buddhism, dana means first physically giving, and on the other hand, while you are giving up. But for those people who do not know this giving up process, they think dana means, giving in physical terms, in physical context, and then creating more rewards at the same time for next life and for Nibbana. So, cāga, in Buddhism, generosity includes dana and cāga. Cāga means giving up. What to give up? You are giving up lobha, dosa, moha, greed, hatred, and delusion. Okay, so that's the primary difference between dana and cāga. Why did the Buddha not use the Pali word dana in this context? Let's go to the sutta. As you can see here, this is the section we are going to study today. Cāga. Buddha could have used dana sampada, right? But he did not. He used the Pali word called cāga, cāga sampada, right? That is because the most important meaning of generosity in the Buddhist text come from cāga. It is technically dana, but from the abstract point of view, from the mental process wise, it is giving up. Now, that is itself the difference between the teachings of giving between Buddhism and other religions. A lot of people asking, what is the difference of Buddhism's, difference of dana between Buddhism and other religions? It is the giving up process. We have to give up, not just give up the attachments to beat to the strings, but also at the moment of giving, you are giving up lobha, dosa, moha. They are very clear. So every time you go to the vihara, every time you are giving something to a temple, maybe to another person, even those who are in need, you have to keep in mind that my giving also carries giving up at the same time. So giving and giving up are the two processes that are happening with the generosity. All right, that's a good background. Now you know what is cāga. Let's go to the text now. Right. Okay, so who would like to read today? Get up here. Yeah, who would like to read today? This section? Anybody?
Bhante, I try to read. Bhante.
Yes, Melinda.
Thank you. Katama cha gahapati cāga sampada ida gahapati ariya savaka vikatamalam vikatamalam.
Let's
how to read this one? I don't.
Yeah, let's break the words. Vigata mala macherena. Now it's easy.
Okay. Vigatamala macherena cetasa agaram ajawasati mutta cāga payatapani bosagarato yacha yogo dana sambipagarato ayam bichati gahapati Bocchati gahapati cāga sampada.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Let me read too. Katama cha gahapati cāga sampada ida gahapati ariya savako vigata mala maccherena cetasa agarang ajhavasati mutta cāga payatapani vossaggarato yachayogo dana sangvibhagarato ayang bucchati gahapati cāga sampada. Let me tell you something very interesting. Every time when you are going to be generous, you must keep in mind that you have to have these elements in your generosity. Mutta cāga, number 1, payatapani, number 2, vossaggarato, number 3, yachayogo, number 4, dana sangvibhagarato, number 5. That means now you know giving is dana, giving up is cāga, but when you look at the larger, broader overall process of your dana activity, you must include that giving up thing under mutta cāga, payatapani, vossaggarato, yachayogo, dana sangvibhagarato. So you're going to be learning today something very interesting about dana in the Buddhist teaching. A lot of people, they are initially practicing Buddhism from the point of dana. It's very interesting because if you are not generous, you cannot practice Dhamma. Why? Generosity is the first point of entry to the Buddhist teaching. Actually, it is not just a dana. Let me ask you a very simple question. Where does dana belong to in our Dhammapada? Now we are doing a lot of things. You might practice sila, you might practice meditation, you might practice other things. So we have to understand where do these small virtues or larger virtues belong to in my Dhammapada. Where does dana?
Is it sila, Bhante? Is it
Dana
under
is not sila. Sila is a separate activity in our Dhamma journey.
Oh. I thought it's grouped into sila, not grouped in that, huh?
Dana is not grouped into sila.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking from everybody who has been attending to our Sutta class for many months, many years already, because we have discussed about the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, in which I discussed about the Noble Eightfold Path. This is a revision.
Oh,
This question is a revision. I have been explaining to you our Dhamma journey is the Noble Eightfold Path, practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. That is our only Dhamma journey. Other things are just ancillary, subsequent to that. So, in that Noble Eightfold Path, which path factor includes dana? So, you have to find out. Where does dana belong to in the Noble Eightfold Path?
Bhante,
Yes.
is it non-greed?
Huh?
Non-greed. Greedy, non-greed.
Is there a path factor called non-greed in the Noble Eightfold Path?
Oh, it's generosity, right? It's non-greed, right? Something like
Yeah.
three roots, yeah.
Technically speaking, yes, non-greed. But I'm asking, our Dhamma journey is practicing the Noble Eightfold Path.
Okay.
Now,
Sorry.
in the Noble Eightfold Path, where is the dana mentioned? Under which path factor do we understand the dana activity? In which we understand dana and cāga.
Bhante, is it right view? Right view?
Right view. This is the place where this is why, because we want to have right view, we practice dana. Now, when you are asked by somebody, why do you give dana? Is it because you want to have a lot of comforts in next life? Right? It is because you want to have a lot of other things in the next life. Right? People might ask. Then you have to say, no, it is because I have to develop right view. I have to keep on to my right view. Because dana is a part of right view. Now, I want to show you again. There are others who are joining for this time. Maybe there are others who joined lately. So I want to show you about Sammaditthi and how it discusses about the dana. Let's see. All right. It's over here. Right view, Sammaditthi. You can see. Now this is the Sammaditthi. Sammaditthi is twofold. Don't worry about this side. This side is for the Arahant side. But look at this side. All unenlightened people are supposed to practice this one. You can see there is merit in giving alms. There is merit in large offerings. There is merit in small offerings. Taking care of mother and father also part of Sammaditthi. Now, when somebody might ask, why do you take care of your mother and father? Yeah, they raised us. They are the ones who, raised us to this level. They sacrifice a lot. So we got to do back, Yes, that is, technically, that is what we understand. But when it goes to the Dhamma path, it is not because of that gratitude only. It is because of Sammaditthi. The Buddha says that you have to always treat mother as a special person. If you don't accept that for whatever your personal reasons, you are not able to practice the Dhamma path. My father is a special person in my life because there is where you're going to grow in your gratitude. Maybe some parents of some people might not be that pleasant, charming to them in their own perspective. It's okay. It's not that you are going to review your relationship with your mom and dad, but what you are doing is that you are going to start being grateful. That gratitude also comes under samadhi. Not even that gratitude comes under samadhi, but also dana. The importance of dana also comes under samadhi. Next time, if somebody asks you, why do you practice dana? It is because I have to practice right view. That is why I need to give dana. How to practice right view through dana? When you are giving, you are reminding yourself this giving is not just a material giving. Through giving, I'm always trying to give up my lobha, my dosa, my moha. Right? This is the plan. So along that line, what we're going to see here is that cāga sampada, it is the higher version of your dana activity. So next time when you are thinking about dana, you have to tell yourself that even though this is called dana, my plan is to practice cāga. Cāga means I have to give up. I should not attach to any string. Do you think people get attached to what they are giving? Why do they get attached to what they are giving? What could be the reason? It is because we are still putujjanas. I mean, that's a lame excuse actually. The reason is that they do not understand the purpose of dana under the Noble Eightfold. If they had known that, they would have not made that statement. What are the other reasons of why people are getting attached to getting greedy about their dana result? If you ask from a normal devotee who is going to the temple, why do you give dana? Right? They might give you different answers. They might sometimes call you actually. Why do you ask them? You go read something from a book or from a Bhante, right? What could be the reasons of why people are getting greedy about the dana results? Any thoughts from our audience?
They want merits.
They want merits. Why they need merits?
To attain better life after death.
A better life.
Better life.
Okay. Any other answers? Expectation behind dana. Okay, it's a good thing.
Bhante, can we say they still have greed? They still have the greed behind it.
Yeah, everybody has a certain amount of greed. But though we have greed intrinsically, inherently, but if we know why we are giving dana, probably we can do certain things. Yes, we all agree. We have greed, more or less. Other reasons?
Maybe they want to be recognized.
Now we go into the worldly reasons, secular reasons. Good reputation. How does that come from? Another devotee is saying, see, this devotee is giving dana all the time. Always giving dana. Good reputation. But sometimes listening to that compliment from another devotee can create more sakkaya ditthi, right? I'm better than you, because I'm making my own dhamma path to that so-called heaven. Or maybe to that perception. Other reasons? There may be multiple reasons. So we will talk about them later, because of the timing. Do you know that there is a Jataka story, I think? I think the Jataka story, if I'm not mistaken. In that Jataka story, there is one man who came to the royal palace. He's a very talented guy. He is swallowing swords in front of the king. He swallowed a couple of swords. And then the king said, wow, this guy is swallowing swords. Must have been a very big activity, right? Then the Purohita, the consultant to the king said, dear Lord, giving dana and then not repenting on the activity of dana is more difficult than swallowing a sword. Right. So this guy is swallowing a couple of swords in that miraculous way, but giving a dana and then not repenting, not being remorseful, not having any secondary bad thought about, maybe any unpleasant thought about dana is more difficult than that. That means dana itself has a lot of other ancillary aspects. But our main aspect is that why do people give dana? Okay. Discuss that more later. Now let's go to our text. Cāga sampada. Cāga means giving up. We will discuss the different reasons. The first thing is that Gahapati Aryasa. Gahapati means household. Householder means Gahapati. Pati means, I think we discussed that. Pati means own. The one who has a house. Right? Gahapati. Then Vigata, on the first thing, Vigata mala maccherena cetasa agarang ajjavasti. Now you are not a monk. You are not a big nun. You are a layperson. You are lay people. So how are you supposed to live as a layperson in terms of dana? We'll see. Vigata mala maccherena cetasa. Okay. Vigata mala. What does mala mean? Mala. Mala means stain. Mala means stain. Stain means we have a lot of stains, huh? Sometimes if you have used your clothes a couple of times, you may have stains. To remove the stains by washing them, right? Detergent. But what kind of stain is that? Maccherena mala. Maccherena means Macchariya. This is a very interesting akusala actually. Macchariya. Macchariya. Let me send you a chat over here. Macchariya. We call it avarice. Simple translation. Macchariya. Now, lobha is greed. These are two things. Can you think about Macchariya in a translation? I mean, in a better simple translation, what is Macchariya? Now, there are people who are not giving anything to others just because they are greedy. Or there are people who are giving to others but still holding on to the strings of that giving. Right? So there are two types of people who have greed. One type of people, they are giving, but still they are greedy about the effect. Another type of people is they are not giving because they are greedy. They have no particular reason other than that. But there are some other people who are not giving because they don't like other people enjoy what they give. There's something interesting. We call it Macchariya. Have you seen such people? You might have seen some animals, huh? They don't give it to others. They also don't consume. Right? Macchariya. So as lay people, you should never get stuck with Macchariya. Of course, I think you are all very generous, but in your generosity, you have to develop a continuous generosity in the best possible way. Now, in the stories of Buddhism, there were some very famous characters, stories, people where they were very stingy. Another word is stingy, actually. Can you remember the story of Machariya Kosiya? Kosiya was a banker who was very stingy, right? He is a very good example of Machari. He stayed in his house with Machari. He had not actually overcome Machari. Let me share with you the story, in short. This Kosiya wanted to eat some, I would say, poopers. Poopers mean kind of a bakery product. In Sinhala, they call it kev. In Pali, we have poopers. It's kind of a bakery thing, pastry kind of thing. And then he told his wife, I want to eat these poopers, sweet stuff, but you should not invite anybody over to our house. So we go to the 7th floor of our house, we will make them. You and I. Nobody is invited. So they went up to the 7th floor. He's a banker, rich man. And then now they are making the poopers. On that day, the Buddha saw this. The Buddha asked Bhante Moggalla, oh, you have a duty. If you can tame down this guy, he will be free from Machari today. Can you go and do something if you like? Then he went to the place, but now he's levitating at the same level of the floor, 7th floor. Then he saw, oh, what nuisance is this? I came to the 7th floor to make the sweets, but there is a monk waiting for the things that we are cooking today, we are making today. This is such a very terrible thing for us. So he was then telling some different things. He was swearing in a way. And then Bhante Moggalla was trying to discharge kind of a smoke, emitting a smoke. Then he thought, looks like things are not going to be very favorable to us. Then he asked wife, can you make a small pooper, very small, tiny one, and give it to this monk, and he will go there. So she made a very small kind of a pooper, and then she left it onto the pan. It became the size of the whole pan. He was actually really mad about it. Then he said, can you find a small one that you already made from the other bowl? Then all they got stuck together, right? Because of the power of Arhat Moggalla. Then they understood, especially the wife is okay, but the husband here, the Machari was here, he understood that there is no choice. We're going to offer the whole tray of poopers to this monk. They didn't know this is Arhat Moggalla. He said, I'm not going to accept this thing. Right? So you need to bring all these poopers over to the Jetavana temple and offer to the Mahasangha. The Buddha and all the monks will consume all this. So this is one very good story about Machari. Right? There is no, actually, how do you know that somebody has a lot of Machari? They don't want to share. They want to eat alone. Those are the people who we understand by Machari. Right? All right. So as a lay person, you are supposed to live a lay life without the thoughts of Machari. You can see it over here. Vigata Mala. Vigata means free from. Mala means stains. Macharian. Be free from the stains of stinginess or avarice. Chetasa. Agara means house. Ajjavasati means live. So that as a layperson, you are not supposed to have Machari. And now there comes the very important elements of your Dana Cāga activity. Mutta Cāgo. Mutta Cāgo means Mutta Cāgo. Mutta Cāgo. What does Mutta Cāgo means? We have different translations. Munificent or very generous. Very generous. Right? We can be generous, but we cannot be sometimes very generous. But there are people who are very generous. with whatever they have in the best possible way. So, Mutta Cāga means that you have, the translation means freely generous. That means you have a great amount of generosity. That means this person has been cultivating generosity on a daily basis. It is like that you are inviting a couple of monks over to your house, right? Today you are giving a very big dana, but tomorrow you are seeing a poor person on the street, but you will never give any handful of, spoonful of rice to that person, right? You are not like that. You are going to be generous at all times. You are looking for opportunities to give dana, right? You are always looking for opportunities. You are probably making every moment an opportunity for giving dana, right? These could be monks, these could be lay people, anybody. So that's called Mutta Cāga. Then Pattakamma. Pattakamma means, what does Pattakamma mean? Now, when sometimes people ask things, sometimes people don't ask. Now, if you know that there is a certain request, there's a certain need that will help you to think about in giving something, you are complying to that request, probably. Let's say there's a necessity for the temple, there's a necessity from the people who really need it. You are trying to comply with their request in a wise way. Pattakamma means you are open-handed. That means you are not close-handed. You are always trying to give something to other people. Remember, there is a story in Dhammapada, I think. I can't remember. The name is Indaka Devaputta. There was a man who was giving dana to everyone. But when people come to his house area, people cannot find his house. So what happens? They normally get lost. Most people get lost. So they have to ask from someone, where is this house? And there was a man who was always stretching his hand and showing, this is that house. You can go to that house. This is the place. Finally what happened? He was so happy by showing people the place of dana. He became a deva higher than the person who gave dana. Very interesting, right? Why is it? It is not about the particular activity. He was so happy about showing other people. Please go and have it. Maybe the person who was giving had a lot of problems from time to time because you had to provide things, right? Now, don't think that you have to stop giving dana and become somebody like a signal guy, Hey, go to that house, eat something from them. It is not the idea here. But the person who was showing the dana house had a lot of higher intentions, very good intentions, right? This intention part is very important. Whatever you do in your spiritual life, if you don't have the proper right intention, then you are not making that to the best of what it is. Indaka Devaputta. Indaka was his name. He became a Devaputta. So Pattakamma is very open-handed. Then Vossagga Rato. Vossagga Rato. Rato means delight. Vossagga means letting go. Vossagga. Vossagga means letting go, relinquishing. That now you are having another element of your dana, another quality of your dana. This quality tells us that you are really, interested in what you call releasing what you have, giving up, right? Right. So we have to have that ability, right? You are delighted. But some people are not delighted in relinquishing, in giving things to others. Sometimes there are choiceless situations. They become choiceless. So people, other friends also make them choiceless. Wow, this is a nice clock, huh? Yeah, it's a gift. Yeah, giving a gift to another person as a gift is the best gift. Just try to make the other person choiceless and then trying to insinuately, indirectly getting that gift from the friend become choiceless. And but anyways, you are giving done. But it is not happening in the way that we understand this. Wasaka means releasing, relinquishing what you have, but you like it. You like it. You certainly like that idea. Because we all know that we are not bringing anything from this life to the other life other than what we give, right? We may have good houses, cars, whatever we have. Even we have people in our life, but none of us are bringing anything to the next life other than our good karma, right? And bad karma. If that is the case, then we should be delighted in giving things to others in the best possible. Sometimes when you are giving things to other people, you might not be very concerned about how your other people think about. That's why the Buddha said, if you are going to have a relationship with somebody, you both should have something called cāga, equal generosity. Sometimes one person likes giving, the other person doesn't like. Why you spend that much money on that thing? So they don't have that equal generous mind. The Buddha said, if you are going to be together, you have to always think about whether the other person have the same mentality like, do we have this equal generous mind, right? So maybe the wife wants to give, husband doesn't want to give. Husband wants to give, wife doesn't want to give. So there are a lot of arguments happening, right? Because although they are okay in different aspects, but they are not spiritually connecting each other, right? Right. So that is why we have to be delighted in relinquishing. I know that you may not be able to relinquish, give everything to others, because you may have to live also, but you have to develop the liking, because you cannot develop all of a sudden. It takes time, right? It takes time. Now, if you look at yourself with your age, if you look at 10, 20 years backward from this age now, maybe the way how you look at whatever you possess and now how you look at them could be a little different. Because when you are young, you might have a certain liking towards what you have been, my education, whatever I have been earning, my hard-earned money, right? But as you age, you come to an understanding. It's not like that. Giving is more important because not carrying. I mean, there may be certain people who might not have this idea too. So, Vasagrato means delighted in giving. Yacha yogo. Yacha yogo means, what is yacha? Yacha means those poor people, yacha. Those people who are asking, give us this, whatever. Yacha yoga means you are really on to the help of those people who really want. Let's say if it is a dana, then you understand we are going to offer dana to the Sangha because they need dana. You are going to give something to others who do not have the required things, right? So you are trying to deserve for that activity. Yacha yoga. This is very interesting. Dana Sangvibhaga Rato. Dana Sangvibhaga Rato. What is, so I'm going to break this long word into two. Dana is one word, Sangvibhaga is another word. Can you think about the meaning of this? What is Dana here? What is Sangvibhaga? Let me ask you, can you give everything that you have in your life to somebody else?
Yeah.
It's not possible. But what can we do? Let's say other person needs certain things from that you cannot give. Then you can share. You can share. That means they can borrow. They can borrow from you. They can give it back to you. That means when we are practicing dana, cāga, this whole concept of generosity, there are times that we can give and we cannot give. In the case of, or in the event of we cannot give, we can share. That means they can give it back to us, but at least we find happy because there is a certain use of that thing from me. But the Buddha said in the Singalavada Sutta, there is a bad friend who never wants to share things with others. What is his name? Her name? This is also another revision question from the Singalavada Sutta. It looks like that you have almost forgotten everything, huh? Almost. What's going on? We talked about friends, remember? Different friends, good friends, bad friends. There is a friend called Anya Dattuhara. Anya Dattuhara. Anya Dattuhara means the one who is always going to take something from you. Taker, not a giver. Do we have, okay, who do we have most? Do we have more givers or more takers in our life? In today's world, there are more takers, huh? Takers, not givers. They want to take things from you. But when you have a private time to think about yourself, oh, I am being always trained by other people, that taking whatever I have, my time, my energy, probably money and all that, right? You don't feel happy at that point, right? So Anidattuhara means they always come to you just to take something away from you. Yes, there are people who will do that really in a good mind because they have no other choice. But there are many who are going to misuse others. And the second bad friend is Vachi Param. Vachi Parama is a bad friend. Whenever you approach that person for a certain favor, this person might tell you that, okay, I don't have money or whatever, but if you had come yesterday, I would have given a bunch of money to you. So they're going to treat you from the past. Right? Or probably they might say, if you could come tomorrow, maybe in a week of time, a month of time, I will be able to give it to you. They're going to treat you from the future. Right? So they don't have this sharing concept. That means whenever we practice dana cāga concept, generosity, if we cannot give things to others, we can share those things. So dana samvibhagarato means giving and sharing. Samvibhaga means sharing. As you can see here, delighting in giving and sharing. Ayang vucchati gahapati cāga sampada. Okay, the simple idea here is that whenever you practice cāga, that means don't misunderstand, cāga is the higher version of your dana activity. So I would say dana cāga activity. Generosity. Let's give a common word for this. Generosity. Generosity in Buddhism has two parts. Dana means giving. Cāga means giving up. What you are giving up means technically you are giving all the food and whatever the things. Cāga means you are giving up the greed, hatred, delusion in regard to what you are giving under dana. And while you are giving, you have to keep in mind that you have to free from thoughts of stinginess or avarice. With that in mind, you are also going to bring certain very important qualities of dana into your dana thought. What are they? Mutta cāga. Mutta cāga means you should be freely generous. Try to be generous as much as you can. Payata pani, you have to have an open hand. Right? That means your dana is your dana thought is always how to say, the good way to say that your dana thought is always guaranteed. That means nobody can stop you from being generous, right? You are always keeping that dana thought working in your mind, whatever you do, wherever you go. And then Mossagarato means you are delighted in giving things to others. In other words, I could say it is not that the Buddha told us, not only that, it is not that we need to have good karmas for the next life that you have to give dana. But also I like that activity. I like when I can give things to others. I personally like, not just to amass, not just to acquire things onto me. I like when I give something to others. That kind of mentality is so good. We call it Vasaggarato. Now, normally we are happy when we enjoy things, right? But what if somebody develops a thought that they are happy when other people enjoy what they give to others? That's such a very higher kind of mentality. This does not mean that you should not enjoy. You have to enjoy yourself, but time to time, according to your financial capability, if you can give and if you can be happy when other people enjoy what you given, that is such a very good feeling, state of mind. We call it Vasaggarato. And then Yacha Yogo, that you are trying to be somebody, you are trying to, I would say, fulfill the requirements, I would say, fulfill the need of those who are asking, who are expecting things from you. Maybe a dana, maybe I would say amisa dana, maybe what you call dana, that thing that you are giving to those people who are in need of. So you are going to help out those people. And dana samvibhagarata means here we understand that there are more opportunities for us to give dana, but there are also opportunities for us to share what we have, because we cannot give everything to others. Maybe you have something which is very expensive. You cannot give that to other people. So you can share with the right people. So this is called cāga sampada. We can discuss many things. So, but I would like to ask you to raise any questions about cāga today before we jump on to the next stages of dana cāga. Any questions so far? I think this could have a lot of this topic may have a lot of questions. It's about dana. Yeah.
Bhante, why is the word dana more often used than cāga? When cāga is more relevant to the Buddhist aspect of giving.
Cāga is the philosophical meaning of dana in Buddhism. So normally we are advising people to start with this dana. At least they have to. There are people who don't want to think about cāga, the higher version of dana, the particular activity of dana in Buddhism. At least we are happy that they come to a place and they give something to us. But when they are engaging in that activity, we have to tell them now, dana is okay. You have to bring cāga now.
Oh.
But unfortunately, those people are not telling those donors that kind of thing. They always say, give dana, give dana, give dana. No cāga. So I think now this the generosity concept in Buddhism has not been properly, explained. That is why a lot of people don't know this level of dana actually.
Bhante, we often use the slogan Dana Sila Bhavana.
Mhm.
So this Dana in the Dana Sila Bhavana refers to cāga as well?
Well, there are certain references where you see dana and cāga have been taken synonymously, analogous. But it's like punya and kusala, right?
Yeah.
In some places in the Samyutta Nikaya, punya and kusala have been synonymously considered, but they are not synonymous in the higher teachings. Kusala, what do you call kusala is certain aspect, punya is another aspect. For example, dana sila bhavana, they are punya in the first place.
Yeah.
Because people are doing dana sila bhavana to make more good karmas. But how to do those three things for kusala? That means you are doing dana not to expect. You are doing sila not to expect. You are doing bhavana not to expect. You are doing dana just to give up greed. You are engaging in sila because you want to discipline yourself. You are engaging in bhavana just to free the mind from avijja and domanas. Right? So the dana sila bhavana idea is kind of very late idea. Normally, our main what we call set is sila samadhi panya, not dana sila bhava. Sila samadhi panya has everything. It is the higher version of our because it attaches to the noble eightfold path. We call it panya sila samadhi panya. Dana sila bhavana is a later development of certain teachings. Now you are talking about 10 meritorious activities. They have been made by some post-canonical books.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah.
Bhante, is the dana and the cāga automatically happens together when a person is doing the dana? Is cāga automatic? Or do we have, or is it a separate practice that we have to practice?
All right. When you have understood the difference between these two, or the two stages of this generosity, dana as the first part, then bringing cāga onto that after, then it will be automatic. Otherwise, it has to be manual. Yes. So you have to bring it. I think for many people, they don't understand what is this cāga. Now today, now I'm telling you, cāga is the higher version of dana. That means you must give up.
Yeah.
That is why if you go to a traditional Buddhist temple in Sri Lanka, the places, they have never been informed about cāga. What is this cāga? We are doing dana just to make more merits to be in the Deva world, maybe to be reborn in a better place, right? So the whole idea of generosity in Buddhism must be given with dana plus cāga. But unfortunately, it is given only with the single practice of dana.
Bhante,
Yes.
Bhante mentioned that there are, under cāga, there are 5 characteristics. First one is mutta
Now,
cāga.
5 qualities that we have to bring in when we are practicing cāga.
Bhante, what are the 5 qualities again?
Yeah, can you see the text over here? Do something like this, probably. All right. Okay, Mutta Cāga is number 1. Paitapani is number 2. Posagarato is number 3. Yachayoko is number 4. Dan Samvibhagarato is number 5. Did you take note? All right. These are the 5. If you can see over here, freely generous, number 1. Open-handed, number 2. Delighting in relic. Now, relinquishment is giving, actually. Don't make it a problem, huh? Simple translation. 3. Devoted to charity. That means you are always dedicated to giving. And number 5 is Dana Samvibhagarato, delighting in giving and share. Remember the story? Anathapindika, the banker Anathapindika, who was the Buddha's chief benefactor, the chief Dayaka, for 18 years. The Buddha stayed 18 years in his temple. That's quite a bit of time because he spent 45 years of being the Buddha. 6 years he spent at Vishaka's temple called Purvarama. 18 years at Jetarama and 6 years. Do you know how Purvarama was built? Why did Vishaka made a temple? There was not a temple called Purvarama, what do you call Kubbaram, Vishaka used to go to Jetavanaram. And then normally it says that Vishaka had probably a bracelet. Out of the respect for the Dhamma talk, she often removes it and then put it somewhere, maybe a courting room or somewhere. One day she forgot to bring it back. And then she inquired. Bhante Ananda took it and then put it somewhere. Then she told Bhante Ananda, I think her attendants, because Bhante Ananda touched my bracelet, I am going to auction this bracelet, and I'm going to make a big temple out of that. So she made that Purvara.
Oh.
Very interesting story. Now the story that is about this comes from the Jetavanaram. This Anathapindika, his real name is Sudatta, Banker Sudatta Anathapindika, had a granddaughter. Right? This granddaughter had a doll. But the doll was made up from clay. One day when she was playing with this doll, it fell down to the ground. It was broken to pieces. So she started crying that nobody could stop her crying. She was crying a lot because that was what she liked. And then Anathapindika took her to his lap and then secretly told something to her. Okay, let's give a dana to the broken doll. He told to the granddaughter. Then it says she stopped crying. Yes, the story says maybe this granddaughter has been giving dana in a past life. Because we are not looking at people's good qualities, bad qualities only from this life. If it is so, you don't believe the rebirth, actually. Because we have been practicing good and bad for numerous number of lifetimes. That's why there are some people who have been very good at a very young time, a small time. But this granddaughter stopped crying. Then it is said, there's a Pali stanza for this. The non-stingy people, they give dana even without a reason. Sometimes you are planning a reason. My mother passed away, my father passed away, my grandfather passed away. But sometimes we have to give dana without a purpose. Just go and give dana. That's it. Right? It's like a trip. Huh? Sometimes you have to plan. We're going to this state, this summer. Sometimes you just go somewhere that you don't plan. That will be a good plan too. Right? Sometimes not planning will be the best plan. Right? It can be right away. When you plan, it could be a plan. When you don't plan also will be another plan. So the Buddha says sometimes the very good people, they don't have a particular purpose of giving dana. They are giving dana just to, get rid of Lobha Dosa Moha. But they don't make it a special expectation like giving good karmas to this and that. So that is also a good point here. That means you don't have to always make a point to give dana, right? That means your people have to die to give dana. Should not think that way. I mean, my mother should not have to die just for me to give a dana. And I should be able to give dana anytime. I won't, right? So, we have to give dana at that time too. But I have to make it a simple general practice in my daily routine. Right? So there's a granddaughter stopped crying. Everybody was very surprised. Huh? How come she stopped crying? Because she had been giving dana in a past life. Suddenly it crossed her mind. So that is also a good thing to discuss about dana. Paschat. And remember the story, Bandula Mallika's story. Bandula Mallika was a lady who had many sons. And then one day the king asked her husband and the sons to go to another state and then to stop a certain insurrection happening from some enemies in the border. So she was giving a dana on that day, actually. She was giving a dana to Arahant Sariputta and some other monks. While she was giving dana, an attendant lady in the kitchen fell something to the ground. There was a thud. And then Arahant Sariputta said to Bandula Malika, Bijjana Dhammam Bijjati. Because all are fragile things, like our life and everything will be very fragile all the time. So how many things we are doing to maintain our life? Just not to get unhealthy, just not to get different that and this. Then Bandula Malika said to Arhan Sariputta Bhante, while I was giving dana now, offering, serving dana, just now, I got a message from the war, from the battlefield. It says that my husband and all the children were killed by the enemies. I saw it, I put it in my lap, I'm still giving dana. What kind of a strong lady is that? Huh? If that happens to you, what would happen to you? You will stop everything because your whole world will fall down. Right? So anyways, so there was many stories that we can learn from about dana and the purpose of dana and how different people offered dana. So dana is not just giving something, giving up, and then probably you are going to look at it from different perspectives. Yeah.
Bhante, good evening, Bhante. May
Yes.
I ask Bhante, sometime, after a person pass away, the family members will try to do dana on behalf of the deceased for the 49 days. I'm just curious on your input on this. Dana for those who has passed away, and normally, when the Sangha come and do the prayers, we will offer robe on behalf of the deceased, or to do dana for the 49 days on behalf of the deceased. What is your input on that?
Days are ritualistic numbers. They are not mentioned. They are ritualistic numbers. I mean,
okay.
In my reading, you can't put a date on a deceased person. That means deceased person has to wait for 14 days to go to another place. What a bad idea is that?
49 days. Yeah.
No, I'm not criticizing that 49-day story.
Yeah.
Even if in another country, they say 7 days. The first dana is from the 7th day on.
Yeah, 49 days.
Now in Sri Lanka, when somebody passed away, they have a ritual called 7-day dana. That means
yes.
today this person dies, and in 3 to 4 days they are going to cremate or maybe bury. And then what happens? 7 days of that death of that person, there will be a dana. 6-day night, a monk will come to that house and give a Dhamma talk. 7 days.
Yes.
Now, according to the Buddhist teachings, these are what you call practices that have come into the Buddhist culture because of the organized nature of the Sangha activity. Now, let's say, now Sangha is also busy time to time. They have to go here and there. Sometimes they cannot accommodate urgent request, right? So they have been kind of service providers in a way at a certain point onwards in the community. So that is one reason why these numbers are coming up: 7, 49, 3 months. There are some good sides too of this number. You won't forget it. Did I do the 70 dana? Did I do the 3 months dana? Did I do the 6 month dana? Did I do the 1 year dana, annual dana? So you are making a date for that, right? It's okay. In a way, it's okay. But if you look at the teachings of how we are supposed to give dana to a deceased person, my advice is we have to give the dana immediately, as soon as we can. Because why do we keep him or her waiting for our dana? Such a very, unfavorable idea for the deceased person. This is when somebody passes away, your crying is not going to helpful for that person. That person is good karma to go to some places. So if you look at the Tirokutta Sutta, Tirokutta Sutta, the Tirokutta Sutta says, Petas talk to the Buddha. Petas say, Bhante, we don't need people crying. When we pass away, we need good karma. What is the price of crying? They cry. A lot of people, they are crying. What will happen to them after? How come you leave me? Now, how am I going to live alone? This is their problem. So we have no price of the crying. Yes, we have this emotional pain. So it is better to give dana as soon as possible, but you may not be able to do it with the local temple. The local viharas, they have their own way of handling dana. So they might say, no, let's go for the 7-day dana. But if you cannot give that dana the way that you want, you can give a dana in your own way. Maybe you can send a donation to a temple, online donation. Of course, you can do it. This donation is for the deceased person. You don't have to do the physical food. Maybe you can send some food to be delivered to another temple for the next day of their dana. You may not be able to go to the local vihara because local vihara may have enough dana and all that. But maybe you are going to give that in a different way. So the idea is give good karmas as soon as you can. On the other hand, there are certain good sides of giving dana on different dates too, because most people are busy in today's world, so they know that they have to give dana on that particular day. But keep in mind that it is better to give dana as soon as possible for the deceased person. Having a day is good too. Now, let's say there are dates, Mother's Day, Father's Day, right? Now, just because you are celebrating Mother's Day, does it mean that you are ignoring your mother for the rest of the 364 days? You are not. Always checking, right, whether she's okay or not. Whether we have a date for, now there is a date called Singles Day. Singles Day. Day for the singles. Celebrating that singles. Anyways, now these are just days. Valentine's Day. But anyways, though there are some dates, it doesn't mean that we only celebrate it on that day only. In the same way, 7 days, 49 days, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, annual, this does not mean that in our own understanding that we only have to think about them on that day. Maybe we are trying to make a convenient in our today's world. Let's say mother passes away. Can all the siblings come to this dana ceremony on that day? They are busy. One might say, I cannot come. I have my other problem. I have a sick person in my household, right? So then I think there are new problems are coming up now. They are not in the textbooks, in the Nikayas. So that is why days are good in a way. But if you are really concerned about giving dana to the deceased person, give something as soon as possible. Think about them. This is for you.
Thank you, Bhante. Yes, normally the first 7 days are the best time to do any good things at that moment on behalf of the deceased. Normally the first 7.
When somebody passes away without crying a lot, give something to that person right away. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because what is happening to us is we are crying a lot. We are crying just because we cannot understand what happened. We may be emotionally crying, but we have to think about now, what can I do to this person? He's already gone. She's gone.
Yeah.
Then we have to look at in doing something good to somebody, maybe a local temple, maybe another place. Now, there are so many ways to be generous in the world at this point. Maybe an online thing, maybe ordering some food to some sangha, even far away. Right? You can do a lot of things. And you don't have to tell other people also. It's your own dana to your own personal reason.
Bhante, my curiosity is, the doing good karma, doing good dana and all that should be when we are alive. So when a person is dead, and somebody do on behalf, do the deceased really receive that good merits of the dana? Or just a ritual?
Okay, so in Buddhist teachings, what we understand is what is the good time to take care of someone when they are alive. There are a lot of children who might think that I am not rich enough to take care of my parents. But when they are getting rich, parents are gone already. Right? So we have to express our love, kindness, gratitude when anybody is alive. In our best possible, we might not be rich at that time when they are living. Because when they are gone, we cannot do that much. We can do, but we cannot do that much that can really felt about it. We don't feel it that much. In order for us to feel the gratitude, in order for us to feel that particular good karma for them, we have to take care of. That's why Buddha always says, take care of your mother, take care of your father, be grateful to them. Be grateful to your, not only to parents, to your people around you. Be grateful to your husband, wife, children, right? At the same time, Mata Pitu Pattana, Puttadarasa Sangha. Right? Buddha always says that try to take care of these people when you can, especially when they are alive. So when they pass away, then we are doing dana. So we have to do the both actually. We should not wait until we get rich, until we are getting capable of doing something. But what is happening is that when some people are trying to do this, people are gone, the right people are gone, so they buy a very expensive coffin, gold color coffin at that point. Right? This is the best benefit to my mother. But during her life, before she passes away, this person has never visited mother, never comforted her. But now buying the golden casket, golden coffin, right? That's why it's very important to express your gratitude when they are alive. So a lot of people don't understand that. So we have to do the both, this part and that part. All right.
Bhante, last question. The thing is, I've seen a scenario whereby that person, the deceased person, didn't do so much dana when they were alive, when he or she was, or when he was alive. So the children thought that daddy didn't do so much enough dana. The wealth that he has, the children use it to do on behalf of the daddy. So I saw that.
Will those good karmas go to that daddy?
Yeah.
Is your question?
Yeah, because the daddy, he say at those times they didn't do much, so the children felt that this money belongs to the dad. Let's use the dad's money to do all the charity. So
let's take it this way. There's a very terrible person in our life.
Yeah.
Another example, very terrible person, very mean to other people. All the other people around him or her, who may be relatives or family members, always wish, how come this person is like this? Why can't they are expecting some good things happen in his or her life? But nobody is willing to talk to this person. Actually, talking is also not going to work. Because this person is hardwired, very fixated in his or her thoughts. Then what can we do to this person? Probably sometimes our way of handling things might change that person's behavior. So the answer to this question is that if there is someone who was not generous with his or her stuff before he or she passed away, and now the children, having understood what really happened, is going to distribute the money and wealth he had among the right people. So they had the good intention. But the problem is whether the father is able to get the good karmas. The father died with some lobha. Father died with lots of lobha greed. So if somebody passed away with greed, definitely this person must have gone to become a hungry ghost.
Yes.
Hungry ghost. Or maybe some animals. Like you know the story of Todeya. Todeya, the father of Subba, Chulakamibanga Sutta story. Todeya passed away, having a lot of greed about what he earned. He became a dog in that house. Right? And then what happened? Son didn't know about this thing. I think I shared this story many times. Then at that time there was a custom that some animals in the house are sent to the temple to bring the Buddha in. Don't do that in today's world. Huh? Monks won't like it. Don't send your dog to bring the monks over to your house. So Subba sent the dog. So he didn't know this is his father. So the dog went to the temple, but dog doesn't like the Buddha comes to his house, son's house. Because when he comes to the house, son is going to give away certain money and the stuff. So what happened? On the way, now he is bringing the Buddha and other monks. He is going to other streets just to mislead the Buddha. The Buddha was noting that a couple of times. And then third time when he did that, he said, Todeya, you did the same thing before he passed away. Don't do this anymore. Then the dog recognized that I was recognized by the Buddha. So he disappeared from it. Yes, that means when somebody is so greedy and passed away, now the son is like doing the same thing, like what you said. Now the son wants to distribute things, but father doesn't like to distribute, even being a dog. It's a very good story. But anyways, children have no choice. Children understand that we have to do this, distribute. But father is still holding on to that. So we never know whether he or she could get it or not. Maybe yes, maybe no. It is a very personalized thing.
Bhante, what is the difference between being greedy and being miser? Being, I mean, very careful with money, not
okay.
spending. That's the nature, not so much the greedy, but it's very mindful and very hold on to the money and not giving. So what
did you say just now? Being careful.
What is the difference between being greedy, a person of a nature of a greedy, and a person who has a nature of being very miser, very careful with money and not wanting to spend?
I don't think being careful about the money is becoming miser, because we all have to be wise in spending money.
Yeah.
Yes, because you might think that even somebody might be careful in spending $5, you know, when you ask them why you are so much careful about spending $5, because you think about 10 times of spending $5, it will become $50, you know, $50. I mean, they might think, you know, all this is adding up to my pocket, right? But anyways, miser is not somebody who is careful in spending money, or maybe wise in spending money. Miser is, I would say the difference, as I said earlier. Greedy person is someone who is not giving without a particular reason. He or she is simply greedy. I think there are a lot of people like that. Even we may also be like that in a certain moment of time, unless we don't really clear up our mind. But fortunately, we are generous. We know we have to be generous. But there may be moments of our thoughts, we might be kind of greedy. But when it comes to the miser's perspective, miser does not give. Miser means Macharya people. Misers don't give because they don't like to see other people benefit or enjoy what they give to others. This is such a very jealous kind of thought that is developed in terms of dana. So it is too bad, actually.
Yeah.
That is the basic difference between a greedy person and a miserly person. Loba and Macharya.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Now, in higher teachings, Macharya is a part of hatred, because jealousy is part of hatred. Issa. Jealousy comes from hatred because you don't like other people enjoy. So here, dana has been taken as a miser in a way that I don't like other people enjoy what I have. All right, any other questions?
Bhante, can
One more
I
question.
seek a clarification?
Okay.
When we said dana, dana is a physical activity. We buy a robe, offer to the monk, food offer to the ring. We can do it, we can see it being done, and we understand it. But cāga is a mental activity.
Yes, that's what I said.
That's why can we say that when we do dana, the cāga will arise automatically?
If you have developed your mind in this perspective, yes. Now, according to what you said now, this is what I've been explaining. Giving is dana, giving up is cāga. By knowing these two, if you have been practicing dana, yes, it's automatic. But unfortunately for many people, they don't know any word other than dana. They think dana will take care of everything. So for them, it is not automatic.
What I mean
Actually,
is
dana is a physical giving only.
When the physical giving is done or done repeatedly, then this feeling of cāga will arise of itself because there is no particular action to be taken to do cāga, isn't it?
Only in the person who has understood this difference, who has understood the second stage, but not among the people who have no idea of what cāga is. Yeah. But I believe that from today itself that you all understand this difference. Dana and cāga. We need dana, we also need cāga onto the dana after that.
Yeah.
All right. Seems to be most of the time is up. And then, yes, let's transfer all the good karmas to the departed ones and share good karmas with the Deva, Naga, Mahitaka. May all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyateyu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyateyu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukhita huntu nyateyu. May Deva, Naga, Mahitaka receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. At the same time, may they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. May they in particular bless you for your Dhamma journey. May your Dhamma journey be a very smooth, seamless, consistent, constant one, not a dry one. At the same time, may Deva, Naga, Mahitaka also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammihi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatthacha bhummanta devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanang. Akasatthacha bhummanta devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasatthacha bhummata devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. At the same time, maybe be in the company of Kalyana Mittas and not with the Pava Mittas. Kalyana Mittas are really helpful for us to maintain our Dhamma path. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu yavanimbana pattiya. Finally, May all the good karmas which we have been accumulating today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhis nichang vaddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Right, that's the end. Next week, I think we have to take a time off because I'll be in Toronto next Friday in the morning. I'll be traveling to Ottawa next Friday morning this time. So, and then there's a retreat after that. So it's okay. I hope that we will be doing again 1 week, one Friday after. It's going to be March 8th. I will be back again to Japan on that day. So, yeah, that's the plan. So we'll take March 1st off. We'll be seeing you then March 8th. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Good,
You're in,
good.
in
Okay,
Japan now,
okay.
Bhante?
I
Are you
am
in
in
Japan
Japan.
now?
I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yes. Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bhante. Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Good night,
Yeah,
Bhante.
Right.
good
Bye.
night.
Everybody.
Farewell.
Thank you,
Night,
Bhante. Good
Thank you.
night. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, good night.